Good to go.
Today we come together with a new vision for humanity to co-create a united Earth family. And with this vision and our shared intuition, we have the potential to bring peace on Earth to fruition. We imagine a world where we take care of all of life. And with this intention, we become beacons of light. So let's join together in manifestation to bring about societal transformation. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together to co-create. Let's come together.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to One by One. My name is Michael Kraus. This podcast is dedicated to highlighting extraordinary people, organizations, and movements working to create a more just, compassionate, and peaceful world. Through stories of resilience, visionary ideas, and transformative action, we uncover the way people and communities are shaping the future founded in harmony, equity, peace, and global unity. And today I would like to introduce an extraordinary woman, beacon of hope, light, and wisdom, Dr. Sister Jenna. What becomes of a soul who walks through hundreds of dead bodies, searching for her mother? How does one rise from such unspeakable trauma and still radiate light, love, and peace? In this unforgettable Mother's Day special, Sister Jenna shares the extraordinary true story of her mother, Sister Gita, a woman who emerged from tragedy to become a beacon of spiritual strength and compassion. The Sister Gita Effect is more than a memoir. It's a testament to resilience, divine love, and the power of a mother spirit to transform the world. And this episode really invites listeners to reflect on their own journeys of loss, healing, and the sacred influence of a mother's love. Welcome to the program, Dr. Sister Jenna.
Michael, thank you for having me, and especially at this time as I honor the first year of Sister Gita's, what would you call it, her change of her part, her soul leaving the body. But thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And you are, you just published a new book. And I didn't have the chance to read it yet. I saw a really, really emotional, inspiring video, I think yesterday, as to how you received that first shipment from Amazon. And it was
too cute.
It was cute and emotional and really, really beautiful. So maybe you can share a little bit what inspired you. And I know what inspired you. Share with our audience really the story behind how that book became alive.
First and foremost, thanks to everyone out there who has been tuning in to your show and thinks this is really important. In the United States, we're approaching Mother's Day, and so many of us sometimes have mixed emotions or mixed feelings. This year will be my second year without my beloved Sister Gita. She passed away just a few days before Mother's Day last year. 2 years ago, I was talking to our publisher, Gina Maza. By the way, if you want a great publisher and someone to really support you on your books, call Gina Maza from Inscribe Press. I'll tell you this, together we worked on this book with love and intentionality. Of course, whenever you pour a lot of your feelings into something, you do subtly, we're humans, you wish to see that it blossoms, it grows. And my purest feeling is that anything connected to Sister Gita becomes magical. I don't know what it is that is in her spirit other than purity or power that creates a kind of magic, Michael. So just 2 years ago, Gina and I just started talking about a book. And we just thought that she's got such a powerful life and that I would really love for us to do something on her life before she departs. And I can still capture some information from her. But scheduling, time, conflicts, moving fast didn't make it happen, Michael. And just last year, we decided to really go into it and focus on this book. However, my scheduling, her working on the many other books, my travels made it kind of almost impossible. However, we did it. We put it all together as an act of love. And I think for me, like you said, what do you become? I just want to ask all of you out there. Your mom goes away on a religious retreat, leaves you and your sisters at home. In midnight, you're having a nightmare and you're visualizing your mom being flown from a train and you don't know why you're having this nightmare or this trance-like experience. And then 2-3 days later, officials come to your door asking you to come and identify your mother's body. And this poor child at 9 had to go by the crash site and identify her mother's body. And there was hundreds of bodies that she had to walk to try to find her mom. And there's a part in the book that kind of describes when she's tugging on the man's pants and saying, Mama's not here, she's in the ditch, because that's what she saw in the vision. She was born with psychic abilities. So she's in the ditch, she's in the ditch. Nobody would listen to her. So she never went to a funeral. She never saw her mother. And right after that, they were put in orphanages. What do you become, Michael? If that were you or anyone else that's watching that, how do you recover from such a psychic, emotional, spiritual, physical, maternal trauma? How do you recover? What kind of person would you become? And so inside her book, it shares a lot about her journey and the mental health opportunity that I witnessed her going through, and after her spiritual awakening, the enormous shift in her life, the enormous shift. So the book came along because Gina Maza is a sweet spirit being who has insights. And together we were convinced that this would be nice. And you know what, Michael and everyone? Amazed. The book gets released right before her 1-year anniversary. I mean, not even 3 days before, 4 days. And then the book gets released. And then what else? It was something else that happened right after that. The magazine. So there's a magazine. I wish I have to show you a copy of that if you can show me. The Eden magazine. The editor Miriam Morrison sends me a message on the first day, everyone. Oh, I have to show it to you. If I could show it to you. If Santosh has the copy of that, he could put it on the screen. But the Eden magazine sends me an email that they've covered a story on Sister Gita, and it's called A Love That Transcends Time. I'm just saying this with you because it's mystical. Again, anything connected to Sister Gita, something gets pulled into it, Michael. And I'm looking at that for my own life, how to be so intentional, so pure-hearted like she was, that things will happen for you, not to you. You know, things are just going to happen for you in ways that you could never imagine. And that's the Sister Gita effect. And yeah, things just kept happening with her. And the book gets released a few days before her 1 year. We host a huge event at the museum on that weekend. And then the book, magazines, and then you. So just a lot of beautiful things. You found it? And a woman who was watching my daily talk show, my daily show, Next Normal, she would listen to the Sister Gita Effect, which we play at the end of every show. She's never met my mom, but she produced a song on her. I can play it if you even want to hear it.
Yeah,
It's just
I would love to hear it.
You want to hear it?
If you can share it, then I can.
And I'll tell you why I think that's important is we revere many people we don't meet in life. We really don't know their biography, but yet we worship them. For me, Sister Gita is guiding you to remember the divine, the source. And what I'm watching are the souls that realize that her life was just to direct you to source, where all your power is coming from. And so I was very touched by this song that Sylvia Young from Los Angeles put together. I think we'll play it now for everyone to listen. Enjoy.
She doesn't speak much about herself, but her piece says everything. She makes you feel calm and strong just by the way she sits and listens. She walks with quiet kindness like the morning light on still water. You come in with worries and wait. You leave with a lighter heart. In her presence, you remember your light, not your name, but who you are inside. In her presence, the world feels kind, and something deep begins to shine. She doesn't need a stage or crown. Her peace is what stands tall. She shows the way without loud words, just love that reaches all. At the museum where silence lives, she gently lights a spark, not with She helps you find your heart. In her presence, you feel at home, like your soul is not alone. In her presence, you start to see the true you you're meant to be. In her presence, I found me. In her presence, you feel at home, like your soul is not alone. In her presence, you start to see the true you you're meant to be. In her presence, I found me.
Brings back memories, Michael.
Wow, 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 wow. You are your mother's daughter. And so every word that was spoken or sung in that song is how I experience you. And
Mm,
so I've never had the privilege to meet your mother in person, but I had the
mm.
privilege to meet you, and the grace that you radiate out into the world is so comforting and so heart opening, and so I can only imagine your mother, and I'm going to imagine your mother through you, and that allows me to experience her. So thank you for who you are, Sister Jenna.
So
And
funny, I hear that a lot. And the irony is, I've often thought my mom and I were so opposites, like Felix and Unger. Is it Felix and Unger? I think was that old television show. Mutt and Jeff. I don't know who are these characters, but there was such we were such opposites. But we meshed when it came on to love for humanity, service to humanity. Our love for God was very deep and private, and she was liberal. I was conservative and square and boring. And there wasn't a boring bone in my mother's body. So thank you for that. I just wanted you to know that I found the magazine I was talking about.
wow, beautiful.
And this was the article spread. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
I know. And it just came as I was so surprised that the editor remembered our conversation and put this in this month's edition. And that's what I was saying. When it comes to Sister Gita, there's always something very purely connected to her journey. And I want that for all of us. We struggle so much to sometimes get the little that we get. And we don't have to do that anymore. I watched Sister Gita, and you see it in the book. PTSD's there, the mental health opportunities traveling with her. But there was a part of her that had so much clarity in her love for God and using that love to heal this side of her. And so just witnessing her, there's a part in the book that we'll talk about when I was in the car with her, and all of a sudden I saw her about to open the door to jump out of a moving car. And I'm like, what are you doing, Mom? You know? And just so much of seeing the pain of this woman before she came into her awakening. And how when we come into that awakening, which is that part in us that wants to be healed, or the part of us that knows life is not supposed to be so hard. There's a part of us that says it's time for me, and we listen to that part. And I think for my mom, Sister Gita, she was listening or having a dialogue somewhere in the midst of all of the PTSD and the trauma. She kept talking quietly until one day, pop. You know, it'll tell you in the book. She had just recently remarried, and there was a big event by the Brahma Kumaris in Miami, and it was featuring Daddy Janki, who at the time was the spiritual light for the Brahma Kumaris. Whole organization, which you know by now, is huge. I think now we're 9,000 branches in 120 countries, so it's
Huh.
huge. So Sister Gita attends this event with Daddy Janki in 1983 or so, and pop, everything opened up. And after that, she was never the same person. Never. There was an aura of light. She didn't seem so troubled. She smiled more. She gave more. She helped more. And she was softer. But the most incredible thing about her presence was the way people responded or reacted to her presence. There's a part in the book that we were at a mechanic shop, and the mechanic it was Muslim. And she just had this intuition about people. Like she could look into you and she knew who you are and how to help you. And I'm young in my spiritual awakening, right? And light is all over me, and I'm doing like, yeah, I've got this now. And she's just sitting there, you know, this is Sister Gita's favorite pose. And she just looks and spans the room. We're just sitting. The guy comes in and he just glances at her once and is like, who are you? He's telling her, who are you? And you could see in his face, like, I'm sitting next to her. I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? I'm here too. He didn't care one bit about me. He was looking at Sister Gita. Who are you? And she just put her hand on his face and his heart. And he says, you're a soul. Just keep remembering Allah. She knew he was Muslim without him even having to tell her that he studied that tradition. So they're just stories. And I just feel for your audience if we can start to trust in that tiny voice. It's always your voice of hope, clarity, what is yours to do, who you really are. That I just want people to start to trust in that little voice that continues to direct you at a higher level. That's the voice that God can relate to and can listen to. And I think that's what Sister Gita did, Michael.
Is it a little voice? Is it a small voice, or is it actually a really, really clear voice? Because what I'm experiencing is that within any conversation, within any moment, within any situation, there is this voice that is the underlying energy of everything that there is. And the deeper I listen to that voice, the more profound the experience in the moment actually becomes for me. And I can only talk from my experience. And once you really start to listen to that voice, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. And there is such a level of gratitude within myself for that guidance, for that companionship, if I can almost say that way, and for simply its presence.
Yeah. You know, I've been insulated in my spiritual tradition for over 30 years. And I'm able to compare my life before the installation to what I was before. And when I used to listen to that quiet voice, and perhaps I never went that deep, nor did I have a reference that was higher than my present life, nor did I have a reference that was higher than the state of the world. The reference I had before my awakening was what the world wants of you. You know, get educated, work hard, buy your home, have a white picket fence, get married, have kids. That was a part of me. That was important. And when I would listen, Michael, there was an element of truth in me, but there was a part of me that was focused more on the material needs. And both collided, and sometimes they weren't always clear because I lacked the intentionality in my effort to acquire my material reality in life. I didn't have a reference that was higher. And so that's my experience of back then, even though myself and all of my friends would stay up until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning talking about philosophy and spirituality. After I came into what I would call like a real deep cleansing of my conscience, the real awakening, I began to understand this reference of a higher image, a higher understanding of who I'm meant to be. And I realized that's what Sister Gita had found. And she came to the Brahma Kumaris. And the reference was, there is a time in your soul's journey when your soul was pure. And from that purity, whatever you think and say will be sacred and divine. So now, when I listen to that voice, I weigh it against that idea of how pure is this idea. And when I'm conflicted with my values, because I can't feel God's energy as clearly as I want to, maybe there are too many moving pieces, and I'll just ask love, what do you need me to do here? And every time I do that, Michael, that quiet voice is very clear. And my answer or response is very, very clear. And after my mom's passing, I've met so many very famous, very profoundly powerful spiritual leaders of my time. Like I was raised around so many spiritual powerhouses that we call the daddies and the Brahma Kumaris. I knew them since I was a teenager, but I still have my own story. And as much as I've seen many so-called spiritual beings, light beings, I've not met anyone with the fragrance I felt with Sister Gita. Apart from Daddy Prakashmani, who was the head of the Brahma Kumaris, Daddy Gulza, who became one of the heads of the Brahma Kumaris, Sister Jayanti, who is now the head of the Brahma Kumaris, and Daddy Janki, and my mom, just those souls that I could feel there's something unique, like a Messiah, like a something's, their presence shows you these souls are purely working on themselves. They're purely in service to God. And you can feel it in their presence. And they are not telling you who they are. Their presence has just got you thinking about yourself and your life and where it's going. And I think that's what the Sister Gita Effect book might do for the readers, is that the moment you close the book, you start to think about what you're doing with your life. Like, where are you going with it? What's next? Then I just look at the world right now, and we now have a new pope. I had predicted that he would be the one. And we, as a civilization, we say, well, I hope he's going to continue with Pope Francis's dreams, and I hope that he'll be able to get into the minds of the leaders and make some changes. But you have to do that too. You're the hope. You're the change the world needs. We can't wait on leaders anymore. You have to change. Your energy has to make a difference, like my mother's energy did. You know, she wasn't standing on a pulpit or preaching from a scripture or Bible. Her presence lived it. And I think that's what the world needs, more samples
And
of people who live in love of the divine.
and I just want to reflect back to you as to what you just said, and you can only recognize something in somebody else that already exists within you. And so whatever you just shared about the love for your mother and who she became as a spiritual mentor, as a living example of the truth of a connection to the divine, you are that to me. And like I said earlier, the radiance being in your presence, specifically in your physical presence, is unparalleled to what I've experienced with beings that I have been with. So I just want to thank you for how you show up in the world, and the gift you are.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Michael. You know, when you come to an awakening, there's an innocence. It's an innocence that surrounds you, because you don't know what your future looks like yet. You're just present. And within the first 4 years, I'm just recalling the story to everyone. I don't know what souls were seeing. I mean, it's a part in the book, Jenny from the Block, right? I had my nightclubs and luxury cars and jewelry and all of that. So that's what I've known. I mean, I had my spiritual giants, but I was very clear. I can't do what you guys are doing, but if you need help, just call me. I'm not that at all. Um, and so when I got that call and I responded to it this time, within those 4 years, there was such a spiritual innocence. I I can't bring the interpretation of the life that I've lived before my awakening into my equation here. It won't make sense. It's like being on a diet and having chocolate cake and Diet Coke, and you're convincing yourself you're having a diet moment. You're on a diet, right? And I would walk out on the streets, Michael. People would follow behind me. Stuff people said, glow, the light, whatever. I went into our meditation room and I'm clear. I'm telling God, look, I'm not what people think I am. This was my blessing. This was my blessing. My honesty with myself was greater than the ego of myself. Because if I had followed people in the way they were reacting to me, I don't know who I would be today. Maybe I'd be one of those. Look at me. Yeah, maybe. But I had gone into my prayer room, which we call Baba's room in the Brahma Kumaris. I told Baba, I'm not what they think I am. I mean, they're bowing, doing, you are this. I go, I'm not. I'm Jenny from the block. I don't even know where the saint stuff is coming from. And I was saved when God whispered and he said, don't worry about that. I don't need you to be perfect right now, but just continue being honest with me and you'll eventually be perfect. And that saved me from a lot of spiritual arrogance that comes over you in your teenage years, even in your adult years of growing spiritually. And to this day, sometimes I will remind myself that Jesus didn't have YouTube. Hi, YouTube family. Jesus didn't have Facebook, nor did Mohammed or Nanak or Abraham or Buddha. They had just a few people who were genuinely intentional. And from that energy of intention, it has survived for thousands of years to help people. And so my spiritual journey has never been one to create followers, but to find ways, how can I empower and lead, make people lead themselves without me? You should be stronger without me, not strong with me, stronger without me. You know what I'm saying, Michael? And so to keep taking them to God's light, to this supreme light, the supreme being. And that's been all of our roles as instruments in the Brahma Kumaris. Really, our only duty was to just guide souls back home to where the source of light is, so that we're free.
Yeah. And I hear you about spiritual ego or spiritual arrogance. And I also know that you hold some gifts within yourself, or I can imagine that you hold some gifts within yourself that you don't really reveal to the outside world. because exactly of that. You want to keep your spiritual ego in check. Now, how do you deal with that on the inside, within yourself? And I can, because as we are going through the evolution of our spiritual journey and the connectedness with the divine, with Baba, with Jesus, with Mohammed, with the deities, there are certain moments within our lives, from my experience, where we almost feel like the chosen ones, and yet we don't really, we don't, we're all chosen. And so there is a certain, to me, or within my being, there is an ego coming up that I'm battling with, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be that way. I want to be in humble service and utilize my gifts and my skills and my talents and my knowledge for the betterment of all. And so I feel a little bit of this conflict, and I just wanna, I'm just going to throw it out there. I before the show I thought, should I or shouldn't I not? And now I'm just going to open up the container. But for the last 4 weeks, I can feel my ethereal wings in the back of my shoulders. And I feel this opening at the back of my heart that is about 4 or 5 or 6 inches in diameter, and it's a physical sensation. It's physical. It's there, and it's like, wow, this is really interesting. So it's not just a, and I googled it, and I tried to find what it means, and I also had this beam of light come into my body 15 years ago and tried to find out what that means. And within that, is there a spiritual ego that says, wow, now I have wings? And so I catch myself, and I'm like, well, come on, Michael. And we're all on a transformational journey here on this planet, and we all stand on the shoulders of each other and those who came before us, the spiritual masters, to grow day by day by day by day. And I think that is our journey.
It's amazing as you're sharing what you are. There's something that's become deeply clear for me. I think one of our areas of inner innocence, perhaps it could be called naivety, is that we feel we have to accomplish and do everything in one lifetime. And as a result of chasing after what we think we're supposed to have in one lifetime, we actually begin to miss what is actually the reality of our lifetime, which could be the joy of stillness, the joy of hard work, the joy of creativity, the joy of producing a beautiful show like yours, One by One, that we have become focused on too much of the doing to get to somewhere because we've seen a million other people, they get a chance. My turn has to come. I should do this. Or we're living a life of regret. And so we never feel we're good enough. And so quietly that energy is stored in us, and we try to distract people from that feeling and do very unique things, the things that are very jaw dropping. We can sometimes become narcissist. We can sometimes become deeply depressed. whatever it is, it's because we're not presently living the truth of the current reality. And so I think we are in an age of angel wings, no doubt. I think that we are in a very important confluence of an old existence of thinking to a new existence of thinking. And I think this in between period, the diamond age, the age of realization, the confluence of an old to a new, that's where we earn our wings. And if your wings are this much, this much, and this much, I look at wings as this presence and aura about you that is serving not only the nature, but your environment, the relationships that you are connected to and with you through media. How many souls are seeing and feeling that your wings are serving? It's an aura, it's an energy of light, it's a vibrational frequency that's coming through us. But in essence, what I'm trying to say, yes, I think this is a time, Michael, to feel our wings growing wider, to embrace more hearts, and to be a support for lots of people because we've been doing it for ourselves. We've been able to look deep enough inside of ourselves to see what's not working and what does work, and to decide to use what works more than what doesn't work. It's a powerful time. It's a powerful time. In the last 4 years of my mom's dementia increasing, I lost God's instrument, my mother, my sister, my best friend, my business partner, all at once through dementia. And although I was informed we should put her in an assistant living, I was very, very clear there's no way I'm putting God's instrument in an assistant living. Whatever would be my sacrifices that I would have to make, I will do it. And even though the first 4 months I had relocated in an extremely big property, there was a lot of moving pieces, it was the pandemic. And then there was your mom walking out on the streets, doesn't know where the bathroom is, diaper changes, this, sleepless nights. For those first 3 months, everyone, I wasn't Sister Jenna. I wasn't this person that you're seeing today. I was frustrated. I was going on 2 to 3 hours sleep a night. I was dealing with a new property. We were still in the pandemic. I wasn't certain what was going on with my mom or with our instrument. And I remembered again, that's why it's important to create an altar or a prayer or a Baba's room in your home. I went and I sat again in Baba's room. And I says, I don't like this person that I'm becoming. I don't want to be like this. And Baba, again, his whisper is, it's you have a desire for something else. That desire is what's making you uncomfortable inside. Let it go. It's in your taking care of Sister Gita. It will make you into a master. You will become a master. And after that message came to me, I was so clear. After that moment, I loved my assignment. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. To take care of an instrument that gave her life to the divine was my greatest blessing. And the fact that she was so unconventional. You want to talk about wings? She literally put on angel wings. I wish I had the picture to show you. But it was her warmth of spirit. It was her warmth of spirit that revealed how large her wings were. And her detachment from people. that woman did not say one negative thing about a person, not once. In the United States, we're going through quite an interesting period. We've been going through an interesting period. And
What do you mean?
before, well, have a new administration, and the administration before that, and there was an administration before that. And at that time, the country had really started to spin like a top, out of control. So everywhere people would talk about this former president that we had, which we now have today. And so Sister Gita was once in the living room and she's like, who is this Trump that you all keep talking about? And everyone kind of turned and like, you don't know who this person is? No, who is this person? I tell you, that's how pure she was. That's how pure she was. And when she found out who this person was, we would go out in the stores, and one day she saw a guy that looked a little bit like the person. And so this is my mom. She went up to the guy and she says, you look like Donald Trump. We had to grab her and pull her out of the place so fast. Oh my God, I'm just so surprised I survived all of those instances with her. That was her purity. That was her purity. But anyway, I just feel like this book is an act of love. And maybe what I'll do, if you give me permission, I want to read one part that she talks about here in the book. There are different segments of her spiritual teachings and, how she used to talk on the American Meditating Radio Show. And this one is called Feelings. It's on page 146. People have experienced a lot of deception in their lives. There's been a lot of exchange of everything that is false. So feelings have been destroyed. It is why people have stopped feeling altogether and have rejected the world. However, when a soul starts receiving something from God, their hearts open up. So let us take God's love and have pure feelings inside. Let us experience what pure feelings are. Let us have trust in each other and faith in ourselves. And let us learn to love ourselves. Let us have purity in our own feelings for our own lives. And then we will experience a love that is unending. Let us take from God and then distribute to others. And when we have very powerful good wishes for others, good feelings for others, those feelings will reach them. We can help each other through the power of our pure feelings. Deep in my heart, there was just this one feeling, just as I have received so much from God, may all of God's children receive the same from the Supreme Being, the Supreme Parent. Sister Gita is sharing. Beautiful, huh? Simple. Simple.
Yeah, and the how can I put this? I think once you've discovered that connection to God, there is this desire is perhaps not the right word, but there is this calling to reach out to other people to experience the same. And while the experience can never be the same for each and one of us, the underlying energy, the the fact that there is a connection, whether through Christianity, through Judaism, through Islam, through Buddhism, through Hinduism, if we can celebrate that in another person, that they found that connection, I think that will that's probably our greatest accomplishment and our greatest responsibility and our greatest opportunity right now.
Yeah.
And I would love to encourage you to turn this book into an audiobook version, and for you to actually read it. And the way you read your mother's messages is so powerful. So maybe one day I'm going to be able to listen to it in an audiobook, and I'm going to also order it. Is it available through Amazon?
Yeah, it is at this time. It's available on Amazon. And Michael, thank you for opening up this particular period, especially as we move into Mother's Day here in America. You know, we can't blame our parents for the way we've turned out. We're adults. We have to decide how we want to think and feel. And yes, events and circumstances take a toll if we keep them, but maybe we can use them to transform us and make us into better individuals. Evolving isn't as such a lonely journey, but I think it's a journey everyone will take at some point when you're being disrespected and you can still be respectful to a person. That's evolving. Somebody cheats you and you accept that they're lacking something, you still take them to court, but you don't let your emotions get caught up. You go, I'm trying to find a way for you to stop cheating people. And you still have good wishes for them. Your intentions are still good for them. You're evolving. Money might not be coming in, and there could be a shortcut in you getting what you need to get, but you know that it's not right, and you make a decision, but don't let yourself get stuck there. Evolving means you are in tune with your conscience and you're willing to straighten it out with your loving connection to Source. So, my pure wish for all of you out there that have taken the hour to join us today, you might be surprised. Maybe you are evolving one moment at a time. Don't discredit yourself or don't ignore those moments. They're important to you. And my wish is that you will get a copy of the Sister Gita Effect and evolve as you're reading through our lives, this incredible journey of a mother and daughter that had such deep love for each other without attachment, because attachment gives sorrow. But how these two souls aligned and did as much as they've been doing in the world. And hopefully it's a testament of the power of pure love. So, Michael, thank
Well,
you.
thank you for that. And if I may add, the soul's alignment, from my understanding, is that we choose our mother. When we come here onto this planet, we choose our parents, we choose our mother, and that soul contract is simply based on love, and the experiences that we have through our mother, and some of them might not be the greatest or not as loving as those are that you've experienced, but ultimately it is about our choice. It is the choice to go, to have chosen a path of what we need to learn and how we need to evolve, and especially our mother is there as the greatest gift that we have in this lifetime. And so to all of you out there, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. And to all the mothers, happy Mother's Day on Sunday. And thank you for your time, for your presence, Sister Jenna. And I'm looking forward to having you back on the show in the very near future.
Thank you. Take care, Michael. Take care, everyone.
Take care.